Hey, sports fans, Larry Eder, RunBlogRun, Socialing the Distance, your favorite podcast. And we have Grant Holloway back, the world record holder at 60-meter indoor hurdles. He is also world champion indoor and out, an adidas-sponsored athlete. Grant, great to see you.
Likewise, man. Thank you again for having me.
And I like the background, man. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I just wrapped up practice, and coach is allowing me to use his office, so I'm trying not to touch too many things.
Well, give Coach Holloway our best, and we continue to. I think you guys have a wonderful coach-athlete relationship. I think it's pretty cool. And
awesome.
I didn't get to congratulate you after the World Indoors, and you just rocked and rolled there. Tell us a little bit about Belgrade.
Man, it was good. It's funny how it goes because I was kind of mad at Coach Holloway because I was watching the college kids practice and I'm only on week 4 progression while they're on week 8 progression. I'm over here like, Coach, why don't I look like that? Why are they moving way faster than I am? So, it took a little while for me to get into my form, but one thing that I don't really, try to count out is when it's time for me to be ready at major championships, Coach Holloway's going to make sure I'm ready. We wrapped up an amazing indoor season. I feel like I'm above where I was from last year. For me to run 7:29 like that and the semifinal rounds with some ease, I think that just shows to my fitness. That just shows to where we're at in training. And then, the finals, it didn't go as well. I kind of hit hurdle 3, but, all in all, you count medals. You don't count times, So I'm an indoor world champion, and I think that's all that matters, For me just to go there, handle my business and, walk out with the gold medal, get back on top, makes me feel really, really good.
So I wanted something just hit me in the head real quick. When I was watching you at the Olympic trials last summer, and when you did that semi, you just flew. You looked so relaxed. You were just on it, man. You were like right over the top of the hurdles. Boom, 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 boom. You seemed totally relaxed there. In the semis at the World Indoors, again, totally relaxed. Boom, 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 boom. Is there a difference between how you approach the semi and how you approach the finals?
Not necessarily. I think the semi is technically harder than the final. You gotta be able to get to the final. So, but my thing is, before that race, I was on the phone with Coach Holloway going over my film, and he was like, "If you relax and execute, and if you run 7.2, so be it." We're not saving anything. We're in shape. We've been doing, the 400s and 300s in practices. All I need you to do is go 5 hurdles all out. And, when you put it like that, that's relatively easy. So that's what I did. I put the blocks down. I relaxed. I executed from start to finish. And 7:29 was the time. Now, granted, in the final, I hit hurdle 3. So that kind of threw off my little momentum and some of my speed. But all in all, it goes back to the beginning. I'm a world champion. It doesn't matter about the time. It doesn't matter how fast or how many hurdles I hit. At the end of the day, my name's in the record books that I won, World Indoors in 2021.
That's cool. Did you take a break after the indoor season at all?
Yes, I did. Actually, I got sick. I didn't get COVID before everybody thinks that, but I got sick right before, probably a week before Florida Relays. I was going to run the 4x4 at Florida Relays, but ultimately it got canceled due to weather. The 4x4 got canceled due to weather. And then I had another week to prepare because I was going to run in Bermuda. But obviously, that's a story in its own itself because they didn't want to flip the track and I didn't want to run into a -5 headwind. So I had another week off. And then I had about I had another week off. And then at Tom Jones, that was supposed to be my relaxation meet. So I just decided to have a little bit of fun. I ran the 4x1, the 4x4, and the Open 100 for the first time in my 8 years here at the University of Florida. So, all in all, that was a great weekend. And right now it's just trying to get that focus back, get that frequency back for the 110 hurdles.
Tell me how you feel in the 400 leg of a 4, man.
It's easy. I tell everybody, I do way harder workouts in practice. So when coach says, I want you to run a 400 and come through at 45, what spikes on, that's easy. So, it just accounts to the blueprint and the training that we do here at the University of Florida. We have a plan. It works year in and year out. Some days you might have to put a little bit more effort in than others, but the plan works. I've been running good times, consistent times since 2017, since I got here. And I'm not going to, chance that or change anything that Coach Holloway has, coming from me. And, Coach Holloway has a great support staff here at the University of Florida between Adrian Mann, Nick Peterson, Melanie Welty. I think they all do a great job of just managing all the athletes that come through here. It just attests to the women's side. They just won SECs a couple days ago. So, the plan works. It's just up to us to go out there as athletes and execute, the race model or whatever he says to do. And, granted, right now I've only ran one 110 hurdle race, but, we've been putting in the work. I feel like I've been doing everything that I need to do to get ready for Eugene. And I think about like 39, 38 days or something like that. And then, the ultimate goal is to be ready on June 17th.
How long does your warm-up take each day?
Warm-up's probably about 40 minutes.
And what about cool down?
Cool down's about 10.
How often do you get a massage?
I get treatment 4 times a week.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
And then how often do you lift weights?
4 times a week.
Okay. How long does that session take?
Probably about another hour and a half.
Do you do mostly free weights? Do you do a lot of equipment, or what's in a combo?
Accumulation of everything. Matt Delancey is the strength and conditioning coach here at the University of Florida, and I've been working with him since 2016, honestly, since I came in for summer school. And we have an understanding of my body now. We try new things during the that fall training time. And
Sure.
Every indoor season I've been producing, and for me, like I said before, whenever I have a strong indoor season, I always have a strong outdoor season. So, most of my credit goes to him. And then half of my credit goes to the coaching staff that we do outdoors, because I'll do 6 to 8 weeks with Coach Matt Delancey in the weight room before I even go out on the track. Like, that's a must.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I get a strong base of weight training in before I even get to the track. Granted, you got to get back in shape. You got to get back in track shape when you get out there. But, that just comes with, more reps and just, from you work out, honestly, October through January, and then you open up in February. So those meets, you can kind of run yourself into. But, before I even step foot on the track, I make sure I do 6 to 8 weeks with him in the weight room.
How many races will you have between now and the U.S. champs?
That's a great question. I know I got Jacksonville this weekend on the 21st of May. And then depending on, the schedule, depending on how I feel, depending on what Coach Holloway says, we'll add meets, take out meets. I think the main goal is to be ready for World Championships. I did what I had to do in 2019, so I have the bye. So that sits pretty with me. I think the main thing, like I said before, is as long as we're ready on June 16th for the first round, and we run a strong prelim round, and we make ourselves into the semifinal rounds, because the semifinal and the final are on the same day, I think we'll be in great shape. Regardless of how many races I have, I put the work in at practice. Like I said, I feel like I'm above my curve than I was last year. So the main thing is really just to, when it's time, execute. And I know when it's time, I'm going to execute. The main thing is like you said, you got to get there healthy, you got to get there happy.
Talk to me about that 100-meter race. What did it feel like?
Oh, the 100 meters quick. It's not like hurdles. I haven't ran a hurdle since Coach Holloway first started recruiting me back in 2015. So yeah. I haven't ran 100 since then. So granted, wow. I did use a PR for that, but
yeah,
it's just one of the things where it's like anything else. It's like driving a car or playing a game. The more reps you have at it, the better you're going to be at it. So that was my first 100 in 6 years, 7 years. So I didn't really know how to run it. I was kind of running it just, full speed type of thing. But, the 100, you got to have smaller frequency. There's a whole bunch of, it's like tactics to it. So I didn't know how to run it. But all in all, I had fun. But mainly that weekend was just to get some speed and some endurance, literally, both of those words. So I ran the 4x1. We ran 38:09.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. We went 38:09 with 1 day of practice.
Man. Oh,
on that relay, we had Devin Quinn to Ronnie Baker, to myself, to Erriyon Knighton. Obviously, everybody knows Ronnie Baker. He's 9'8". Everybody knows myself. I'm a 12'8" hurdler. And then, of course, this is before Erriyon ran 19.4 in the 200. So, that just shows with the training that we do here, it works. We know what we're doing. And then in the 4x4, obviously, that I've been running that since I got to the University of Florida. So that was fun. I was able to split, I think, the unofficial split was between 43.4 and 43.7. So regardless, I know I'm in great shape.
Yeah.
Now it's just to get back on these hurdle frequencies, It's just one of the things where it doesn't matter how you start. It's kind of how you finish and how you're going to show up at World Champs. So you could not show up at all, and then you can, bust one out World Champs. We saw Eugene do it. We saw Alan Johnson do it. We saw Jason Richardson, David Oliver, some of the great people do it. So, it's just really just getting back in that frequency. And I've been having great practices, like I mentioned before. It's just when the time comes, put the blocks down and execute to the best of your ability.
Talk to me about Erriyon Knighton. What do you think about that young man?
He's a freak. He's a generational talent. One of the things that I really, adore about him is he's like the baby brother to me. He's someone that looks up to me. If I say I'm not going to do it, he's not going to do it. If I say, oh, I'm about to go, play the game, or I'm about to go get treatment, he's like, all right, I want to go get treatment too. I think one of the reasons why he wanted to come down here full time is because he saw how hard I was working and everything. So, it's up to me to be the big brother. It's kind of up to me to lead by example. And it's also up to me, to keep him out of trouble. He's young. He's 18 years old. He has a bright future ahead of him. But as we all know, in this world, there's distractions, good distractions and bad distractions. So it's just up to me just to kind of show him, the do's and don'ts and, where I had my mess ups and, try to just guide him to make sure he doesn't have those same mess ups that I did when I was coming up.
Do you think he's a 100, 200 guy or a 200, 400 guy?
He's anything that he puts his mind to, honestly, Mr. Larry. He can run 100. Obviously, he can run a 400. He's the fourth fastest man all time in the 200. So he's anything he puts his mind to. If he really wants to, he could probably be a 110 hurdle. There's no stopping how strong his mind is. The only thing that's his disadvantages is he's young. He doesn't know the real world yet. And as much as I don't want the real world to slap him around and grab him by his neck and just start whipping him back and forth, but that's what makes us young men. That's what makes us grown. Is to go through life, have those trials and tribulations, and Erriyon, regardless if he's going to have them or not, he's going to have to grow. And regardless if I want him to grow now or want him to grow later, he's still going to become a young man, and he just has to go through that life challenge. I think he'll be fine. It's just trying to keep his head clean.
Did you ever seriously consider the 400 hurdles?
Not at all.
Okay. I was just curious because with that 400 strength you've got and the 100 speed and your agility over the 110s, I was wondering if watching a race like Allison DeSantos and Rye last weekend, and you kind of go, hey man, I'd like to do that.
No, not at all. I'm gonna stay in my lane. I would stay in my lane.
Good.
I'm gonna keep racking up some medals in the 60s and the 110 hurdles. But other than that, I like where I'm at. I like where I am in the world. I like where I'm doing. Like I said, I feel like Coach Holloway and I, and even Coach Mann, he's alongside. He doesn't get the praise that he needs, but us three are a dangerous team. And I'm excited to see what the postseason has.
That's cool. Hey, Jason Richardson told me something one time. I was sitting with him in Aries in New York. This has got to be, 10 years ago. And I asked him, and it was kind of just a goofy question. I said, why are the 110 hurdle races so darn good? And he just looks at me and he goes, because we have to race against each other every week, Yeah. Do you think the 110 hurdles get the respect it deserves?
I think it does. We're starting to get great name people. Not just saying that about myself, but you think you have Hansel Parchment, you got Omar McLeod, both Olympic champions in races. You add that with, Devin Allen, a dual sport athlete. You add my name in the mix. You add Ronald Levy, Pascal. You add all these people who have medals, and, you look at the race and it's like, wow, all these people have great accolades, and you never know who's going to win. The 110 hurdles is always an event where whoever is the most consistent and the most clean wins. And, we're at the point now where we never know. It all comes down to who can execute the best. And I think everybody that's going to listen to this interview or this podcast is going to agree with that. Prime example, I was having a great season last year, but Hansel Parchment had, the better race on the better day, and he was crowned the Olympic champion. So my hat goes off to him. The 110 hurdle race is all about consistency, and whoever can execute the best wins.
I thought you handled that well. I was hoping that you were going to lose your stuff with some of the dumb questions that you got after the Olympics. And I didn't get to tell you that, but, I think when you focus on, hey, look, it's one day at a time, this is where I've got to stay. This is what I learned from. I got Paris 2024. I got Eugene now, and I think that's one of your strengths. How did you get, is that Coach Holloway and your folks, and just as you've been brought up, so you really are able to keep your head together no matter what's going on around you. And I think that's really key to being a champion athlete.
Yeah, I just think it's accumulation of everything. My parents did a great job raising me. I'm at a great university where, coaches not only, build great athletes, but great human beings. And it goes back to the old saying, you take your wins like you take your losses. The analogy that I always tell myself is I never lose, I always learn, and having that happen at the biggest stage and really to have my only loss of 2021, that's an amazing accolade. I went 24-1 in 2021. If you look at all the other positive things, I was indoor world record holder, number one indoors, number 2 outdoors, and I got an Olympic medal, all at the age of 23. So, you take those positives, and that always outweighs, that one negative. Granted, if I could have the gold, absolutely, I would love to have it, but I'm not taking nothing away from Hansel Parchment. He ran an amazing race. I tell him that every time, and I can't wait to have the rematch.
That's cool. I remember in Doha, I got to meet your folks, and your dad asked me how you did in the interview, and I said, you were really good, and he was smiling. They're very proud of you, and I think that's pretty cool too. When you were in Doha, was the feeling you got in the World Championships, was seeing people there and knowing you're running against the best in the world, similar to what you felt when you were in an NCAA championship?
Yeah, I felt like it was the same amount of pressure. Not really pressure, but the same amount of, anxiety, not even anxiety, anxiousness is the word I should use. It was that same feeling. I had an amazing NCAA race with Daniel Roberts. Excuse me, we both went, he tied the collegiate record and I went under the collegiate record. But it was the same thing for World Championships. You got defending champion Omar McLeod in the heat. You got 2015 world champion Sergey Sabankov in the heat. You got Olympic medalist Pascal in the heat. You got all these people, these name brand people, and it always boils down to, who can be consistent and who can be the cleanest over 10 hurdles. And not to mention 2019, we had the Diamond League champion Orlando Ortega right to my right. So it all depends on who's the cleanest, and that's one thing I admire about the hurdles. There's no ducking and dodging. You got to be able to have that race pattern, when it's fast, you got to be able to have that race pattern when it's slow.
Do you think the women's hurdles, with the equality of the athletes in the women's hurdles right now, can you really pick who's going to be top from one race to another?
Absolutely not. Hurdles it goes back down to who's going to be clean on that day. Anything can happen in the hurdles. It doesn't matter what race you watch. It doesn't matter who's in the race. The clear-cut winner could have a faulty start. It can hit a hurdle, nip a hurdle, have a trail leg accident. Anything can happen in the hurdles. And as I'm saying all that, I'm knocking on wood because I don't want that to be me. But anything can happen in the hurdles. It doesn't matter if you're the clear-cut winner or not. You still have to go down, pitch your blocks down, and execute 10 hurdles just like everybody else in the race.
We're going to see you around to LA 2028?
Absolutely. That's the goal. I plan on trying to break Alan Johnson's record. I think he went to 35 or 36.
Yeah.
I think I can do 36, 37 just to try to, be that one guy. But I've been doing a great job of taking care of my body. Now it just comes down to just staying consistent. The main thing that my dad tells me every year, don't get me wrong, the times, definitely put you down in history, but to stay relevant is the main thing in the hurdles. Each year, as long as you get a medal, everybody can say you were dominant from the year you came out to the year you graduated. And that's my main goal. As long as I walk out of each world championship with a medal, as long as I walk out of each world championship representing Team USA, as long as I walk out of each world championship representing my last name, that's the main thing that I would like to do.
Would you like to go into TV broadcasting?
I would not have a problem with that. I'm very good friends with Otto Boating, and I've seen what he does for NBC and all the major championships. He's very knowledgeable of the sport. Track and field is, my first love, so I feel like I'm very knowledgeable of that sport. So if that door opens up, I wouldn't mind walking through it.
If you were at a championship and the head coach came up to you and said, "Hey, you just cranked in the hurdles. I need you in the 4x4. Would you run?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The analogy that I use is I'm the best fifth man in track and field history. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's next man up. I'm the next best man up. It's just like NBA, how they have a 6-man award.
Yeah.
I'm the best fifth man in track and field history. It doesn't matter what relay. I feel like I'm very capable of, holding my own. It doesn't matter if it's first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, 4x1 and 4x4. I feel like I put the work in, and I'm staying ready so I don't have to get ready when the time comes.
Yeah, the 4x4 at the World Indoors this year was fascinating because it was one of the first times U.S. teams on both sides didn't medal in the 4x4, but also it's how competitive the event is globally. And it's going to be crazy fast in Eugene. And that could be a lot of fun. I mean, I think that's going to be one of the events, obviously, to watch besides the 110 hurdles, which I'm looking forward to. In Jacksonville, you'll do the 110s, and are you doing anything else?
Just the 110, sir.
Okay. How many races do you need to have before a championship, or do you simulate them in workouts as well?
No, I leave all that up to Coach Holloway. He has the blueprint, and it always works out. If we need to add more races, we'll add more races. If we need to take away races, we'll take them away. But Coach Holloway has this blueprint that's been working since I got here, on University of Florida's campus. So I'm going to continue to trust him. I'm going to let him, write the workouts and, tell him where I need to be. And I'm just going to continue just to follow his lead.
Do you know your workout a couple days ahead of time, or do you wait till you get there and coach says this?
Coach Holloway's the workout sheet. So
okay,
if he gives me the workout sheet on Sunday, that's what we're doing. If he gives me the workout sheet on Monday, if we're in the workout on Monday and he decides to change something because he wants to work on anything, he's the workout sheet. So I put my trust and my faith in him.
Okay, cool. Talk to me. So you playing any new computer games right now?
No, I'm actually taking a break. I've been just trying to hone in on this track and field stuff, watching a lot of film, really just trying to, get back active. Just after Indo Worlds, like I said, I got sick. And then afterwards I started just getting back into the hurdles. Then I started doing a little bit of sprint stuff and really just trying to just hone back in on that hurdle mechanic type things and really just perfect my craft. So I'm looking forward to, just the meets upcoming, and I'm looking forward to what's to come with World Champs.
How's your start?
Just still there. I feel like that's definitely a strength to mine. So really just continue just to work on my weaknesses and make my strengths the best attribute to who I am.
If someone is with you with 3 hurdles to go, can you sense it?
I think of course I'd be able to sense it because they're either right next to me or I can see them at my peripheral. But the goal is really just to run my race pattern. Regardless of if I feel somebody or not. Just to really just stay strong throughout all 10 hurdles. When
I watch you, it seems that you get to about hurdle 5, and then you seem to open up, and it's like the only way I can describe it is that all of a sudden it's like you grow 3 inches, man, in your leg length. Because then all of a sudden there's like this distance. I'm going, okay, that's a centimeter. Boom, 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 boom. And you seem to like relax over those last hurdles. Are you relaxing or are you focusing more?
A little bit of both. I'm just really just been working in those segments with Coach Holloway, getting longer workouts in so I know what it feels like. Doing different distances so I can work on, going through the hurdles. But I definitely feel like, that half of my race is starting to become a strength of mine. It's really just being an athlete. And like I said before, I feel like I can do any event here on track and field, excuse me. So really just being an athlete and just getting over those hurdles and really just showing, what I can do. In social media earlier this season, there was a lot of talk about a 200-meter hurdle race. Do you think we're going to see that before the end of the season, or is that? I definitely think we can. Ryan and I have definitely been chirping at each other's necks. I think it's definitely possible. I've been talking to ESPN. I reached out to John Anderson, NBC with Otto Bowden. So I definitely feel like it's definitely possible. That's cool.
If you were the head of NBC Broadcasting for a day, what would you change in the way they cover track and field?
I really don't know the answer to that because sometimes track and field is so stuck on like the name brand people that if a name brand person loses, it's about how they lost, not about how someone had, if someone won the race. So I would definitely change that. But other than that, I really don't watch too much broadcasting. I'm in the meet, so it's hard to, watch the broadcast afterwards when I can just watch the film instead of watching the whole meet. Don't get me wrong, I'm a track and field fanatic and I love watching track and field, but it's hard to change stuff that already, been working. I think that's one of the main things that we need to change is instead of having, don't get me wrong, we need to have name brand people to, draw attention to the sport. But if a name brand person loses, it shouldn't be how they lost the race. It should be how, the person won the race.
It's about us telling better stories about the new people too.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, okay. Social media, you seem to have a lot of fun with it. If you were talking to Erriyon about how to, as a young athlete, how to manage social media, what would you tell him?
I think he's doing a good job. He's relatively young, so he understands exactly what's going on. I just have fun. You're gonna run into some trolls. You're gonna run into some people that have strong opinions, and then you're also gonna run into some things that you shouldn't have been said. But it's your social media. You take ownership of what you say. Granted, if you go through some of my tweets, there's some stuff that I shouldn't be saying, but that's who I am as a person. That's how I carry myself. The good thing is, both of my parents follow me on social media, so they see what I have to say.
Yeah.
So usually, if my dad or my mom sends me a text saying like, "Hey, you should have said that," then it's pretty bad. But then at the same time, I speak my mind, and they know that, so I feel like I'm in good shape.
No, I was interviewing Vernon Norwood a couple weeks ago, who cracked me up, and him and Marvin Bracey, they just go at it. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, "You guys get along great." He goes, "Oh, I love him," and I'm fascinated just kind of watching the interplay. And Marvin's a character anyway, so it's
as you know, Marvin's definitely a character.
Yeah, that's what keeps it fun. Do hurdlers kind of give each other a little bit of stuff like the sprinters do?
I think the sprinters are a little bit more cutthroat. Hurdlers are more so, I would say, friendlier. Sprinters kind of, I don't want to say they dip and dodge. They can choose what races they want to go to, but hurdling, like you said, it's all right. These top people are going to be at this meet, and every meet, the hurdlers are going to hurdle. It doesn't matter where we're at. It doesn't matter what we're doing. Hurdles are going to hurdle. The sprinters can kind of pick and choose what meets they want to go to because everybody wants the top sprinter. It doesn't matter. I was listening to a podcast the other day how Justin Gatlin said he only saw Usain Bolt at Olympics and World Championships. He never saw him at any of the Diamond Leagues. He never saw him at any, he always is very strategic in his act. So, that just shows that, you can do that. Hurdling, it doesn't matter who's in the race. It's always going to be deep.
Is the Diamond League a big deal for you most seasons?
Not necessarily, only because I felt like I've done everything I need to do before the Diamond League. The Diamond League is, don't get me wrong, it definitely holds it, but my eyes is I do everything before world champs and at the Olympics and everything. I don't really necessarily care for the Diamond League. Don't get me wrong, I need to run some and have fun with it and travel. But John Regis and Astra got me a nice contract, so I feel like I don't need to go around and do everything else.
What is the biggest thing that Adidas wants from you as your big sponsor? Is it, I know Spencer, and I'll tell you, when he told me, he was so excited to tell me he signed you, and then explained that he had been focusing on getting you for a while, Do you feel pressure from your sponsor to run a bunch of races, or is it about showcasing the brand and taking medals and things?
When I signed, my goal was, when it's time for World Championships, I'll be up for World Championships. And it's my goal to do whatever I need to do to get ready for World Championships. And that's what I'm sticking to. Whatever I need to do to show up at a World Championship, that's the main goal each and every year. Regardless if I need to run 10 meets, regardless if I need to run 2 meets, whatever I need to do to be ready for World Championship, that's what I'm going to do. Cool.
Will Coach be in Eugene with you?
For trials or World Championships?
For both.
Well, yeah, he'll be there for both.
Cool.
He's right now obviously focusing on, the Gators here at the University of Florida.
I've heard of them.
As soon as it's over with, I think his attention's already with the pro group here. But as soon as it's over with, he'll be traveling and making sure we're all good to go for world championships and everything like that.
How big is the group you train with, Grant?
Between a couple new heads, we probably have about 8 to 9 people here at the University of Florida.
How many hurdlers?
Well, we just recruited. Well, we didn't recruit. Two new people came here. Robert Dunning, 2021 NCAA champion, and Valdo. He runs for Hungary.
Oh, cool!
So between them, we have 4 people. We also still have Eddie Lovett. He ran here at the University of Florida 2010 to 2013.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Do you like having a group to train with?
It's relatively new for me. When I was coming up, it was more so just me by myself. I was the only hurdler here. At some points, we had Corey Poole. He's at North Carolina A&T right now, killing it. I always train by myself. So having, some new people beside me is always a different look. But, my thing is I'm going to use these new people to get better. I'm try to get some meet day reps, try to get that pressure when I'm next to other people to see how it feels.
You were talking about checking out video. What are you looking for in video when you're looking at competitors?
Not really other competitors, more so my own videos. Hurdling is, as you clearly can tell, is what can you do better than everybody else? How can you make your strengths better and make your weaknesses even more? So I've really just been focusing on me, watching video every day after practice and then just comparing that to where I was either last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and always just finding ways just to continue just to get better.
You seem to really enjoy, I hope it's the right word. You seem to really thrive when you have several rounds of hurdles because each one, as I watch you, you relax a little bit more, you're a little more focused. How do you explain that?
I think it just comes with the territory of, what's to come. Each round you get better. I feel like I'm probably one of the most fittest hurdlers that there are. So I use that as my advantage. When we have rounds in double days, some people might not be able to do it. I know I'll be able to do it just based off the workouts that we do here at the University of Florida. So I use that to my advantage. And I always have better reps after I do it a couple times. It's just like anything else in life. The more you do it, the more practice you have at it, the more repetition you have, the better you'll be. So I definitely think I use that to my advantage.
Did the heat bother you at all in Eugene?
Not at all. I'm at the swamp, baby.
Yeah, I figured. Well, I'm in Wisconsin. Last week we had 100% humidity and 93 degrees, and my girlfriend was not happy with me because we don't have air conditioning. We just have a bunch of fans. Oh. And it was like crazy May, but it's like that in Florida all the time, I think.
All the time, baby. We don't shy away from it. So, the heat didn't bother me at all. Actually, I loved it. I put some layers on. I get a nice sweat going, get some Tiger Balm on these legs, and I feel like I'm ready to fly.
Do you do a lot of core work?
Absolutely.
Okay. I was just curious. Now, it seemed that way, and I when I was coaching, I made my athletes always do core work because I felt if they had a strong core, they could handle anything.
Absolutely.
Hurling.
You're a very smart man.
Okay. Well, learn from some very good people. That's what it's all about. Where do you think the 110 hurdle record can go?
That's for not just myself, but other competitors to make it happen. I don't like speaking. I mean, I can speak stuff into existence, but I don't like talking about it. I'd rather just go out there and show you.
Cool. No, I love doing that too. I think we push the whole record thing way too much. And I get really disturbed when there's a lot of records broken because I want to see the races and I want American football fans to go, wow, the 110 hurdles is a cool race, and see athletes going at it. That's, I think, the key. What's more important? And I think I know the answer to this question.
The medal.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. Brad, that's what I wanted to hear. Hey, thank you so much for today, man.
Hey, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure, Larry.
All right, and I wish you the very best over the next few weeks. I'll see you in Eugene for the U.S. champs and for the world champs.
You know you will, brother.
Thank you. All right. Larry Eder, RunBlogRun, Socially the Distance. Today we had Grant Holloway, world indoor record holder, world champion in indoors and out, adidas sponsored athlete, and one of our favorite guests. Hey, sports fans, Larry Eder again, your favorite podcast, Socialing the Distance. And today we had a two-peater. It was Grant Holloway, adidas sponsored athlete, world indoor record holder at the 60-meter hurdles. He is the world champion outdoors 2019, world champion indoors 2022. He is so much fun. What do I like about Grant? Grant has a fun confidence. He has been supported by family, by coaches, by his sponsors, and he has the right attitude about it. And he enjoys what he does, but he also knows he has goals to achieve, and he needs to stay focused and needs to work hard on them. And he's not afraid of hard work, and you can tell that. We chatted a little bit about one of the things I found fascinating is in both semis at the U.S. Outdoor Champs and at the semi at the World Indoors, he cranked great times. In the final, it was more about the racing. And, again, it goes back to this whole thing in track and field where we really get too obsessive about records. And at the end of the day, it's about competition. When you're run, jumping, and throwing, people will forget about the distance. What they forget about is who won gold, silver, and bronze. And that's the challenge. And what Grant wants to do in every world championship, every Olympic coming up, he wants to come home with a medal for the U.S. He's very proud of being on the U.S. team. He would love to run a 4x4. He said he's the best fifth man out there, and I tend to agree. I think he could do the 4x1 and the 4x4. I think that the 110 hurdles are his focus. I teased him a little bit about running the 400 hurdles, and he said that's not going to happen. And, tried to get him to talk a little bit about where the world record go. But you know what? He's right. If you talk about it, it ends up being shown everywhere. And what happens is Grant won a race, but it wasn't a world record. And that's just self-defeating. So at the end of the day, Grant Holloway is a unique athlete. He has found an event that he dearly loves. He has a wonderful support group around him, including the 8 athletes he trains with, his management team with John Regis, the sponsor adidas, Mike, Coach Holloway down at Florida, and the crew there. Spoke a lot about his weight training coach too, and I think that's very, very cool. And yes, he does a lot of core work as well, which is pretty awesome. But love watching Grant race. He is one of the most relaxed individuals I've ever seen. I really enjoy seeing him and Devin Allen competing together. They are two of my faves. And we'll be able to see them in Eugene and hopefully at the World Championships as well as the U.S. Championships. But great interview today. A lot of fun. Thanks to Mike Deering, who produces this and is our creative manager as well at the Shoe Addicts. And Shoe Addicts manages our podcast and manages a lot of our content at RunBlogRun, and we're grateful to work with them. Thanks to Grant Holloway for finding some time. He did it just after a workout today, and thanks to Coach Holloway for letting him use the office. I hope he didn't cause too big of a mess in there, but, Grant's pretty mellow. Anyway, thanks again. Run, jump, throw today. Tell someone you love them. Eat well. Stay safe. And thanks again for watching Socialing the Distance. This is one of my favorite things to do each week, and I'm tickled that so many people are checking it all out. Talk to you soon. Take care.